I'm so cold. Greg? Is that you? I can't! The Storm King took over Canterlot! I still haven't received orders. What? They took it back months ago? I feel really stupid now. Hello, my name is Hunter, the movie reviewing pony, because when it comes to cinema, humans cannot be trusted. And neither can our messengers, because I was left out in the cold for 2 months. Which is why I now refuse to move away from this fireplace. Ah, the holiday rush. We have to do it every year because society demands that it be a thing. Hashtag wake up, sheeple. You got more things to worry about than Bill O'Reilly going on about the Starbucks coffee cups. How you doing over there, Bill O'Reilly?
They took my job!
Oh, right. Yeah, they did do that. Well, no one's come to take my job yet, so I guess I have to review today's movie. Let's see what's on the... Oh, please tell me this is a typo. Fuck! It's Norm of the North! This is a really stupid movie made by really stupid people for really stupid people. Rob Schneider plays a polar bear who's trying to stop a real estate company from selling condos in the Arctic Circle. Because you know, people want to live up there where it's fucking cold all year round. What is that fucking plot line? Who came up with this? Polar bears are starving and dying because of climate change, but no. Oh no, real estate's the real enemy here. But oh, I wish the plot was the only thing that was bad. Because the whole design of it's bad. The writing is bad. The movie is really, really, really bad. Oh, and let's not forget, it has a twerking polar bear. Because, you know, kids need that in their lives. Now, honestly, I shouldn't have to go any further than the fact that this movie has a twerking polar bear in it and just slap a 0 on it and then get on with my life. But unfortunately, that's not in my job description. But you know what? Given all the crap that I go through in my job, I'm not entirely sure what's in my job description. Sometimes I think my employers are just people who are trying to torture me. Anthony, fuck! Oh, you shouldn't like it. So, I absolutely refuse to move away from this fire, so I guess I'm stuck here. Well, without further ado, let's suffer through Norm of the North. It might just be the worst thing ever created by human beings. So as our film opens up, we see that for whatever reason, Lionsgate wanted in on this little project. And then we discover that the true source of our suffering is this unknown company called Splash Entertainment. I'm not entirely sure if I could call it entertainment, though, when your Wikipedia page consists of...
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere.
We open with a very pyramid-looking cruise ship and a bunch of animals that I'm not entirely sure exist in the northern Arctic Circle. Like seals, not entirely sure they exist. Or these little weasel things. Not sure they exist either. And polar bears. I'm 65.5% sure they're not at the North Pole either. Oh, and moose. Meese? What's the plural for moose?
Moosin'!
Works for me. Either way, pretty sure at least half of these animals aren't up north. I also don't know why they're playing poker. That's never explained. Anyway, this is our protagonist, Norm the polar bear, voiced by Rob Schneider. Because having respect for your own goddamn career is too much to ask of Hollywood actors nowadays.
Rob Schneider is da derp de derp da deedly derpy derpy dum. Rated PG-13.
Anyway, this opening scene goes on for about, I don't know, 30 years. I think it's just going on for an excessive amount of time to say, yeah, no, this is the visual style we're going with. Yeah, no, these are the effects that you're gonna have to put up with for the next hour and a half. Yeah, we got Rob Schneider playing a fucking polar bear. And now please check to see if you're still breathing. Somewhere in the middle of this chase scene, we get what I like to call love interest in a can. Which basically means a love interest who's thrown into the movie just for the sake of the movie having a love interest. This is Elizabeth, but for the sake of this movie, we'll be calling her Gah, because we don't need to learn her name. She makes even less of a contribution to the plot of this movie as Flash Sentry does for Equestria Girls. I know that's low-hanging fruit, but I don't care. So then these things, which I have no idea what the fuck they are, so we're just gonna call them Arctic squirrels, start setting up a work site or something. I don't know, nor care, because we never see it again. Like Gah, who we'll only see 2 more times in this movie. Anyway, Norm finally corners this fucking seal, who has been really annoying throughout this whole opening scene. I hope he dies an agonizing death.
You wanna know why I'm not gonna eat you?
What? You didn't even let me. Oh my god! Eat him! Eat him!
Eat him! Eat him!
Got a minute? Well, maybe an hour. It all started when I turned 13.
Movie, is it really too much to ask that you humor me for a few goddamn seconds? I am on this ride for another hour and 20 minutes and don't need to be reminded of how bad of a fucking time I'm gonna have! So Norm gives us a fucking backstory, which apparently involves Arctic tourism again, and irresponsible parents that let their kid run up to polar bears.
Aren't they supposed to stay 50 yards away? If this little brat takes one more step...
Why are all you parents so goddamn irresponsible with your children? For God's sake, we already have some kid climb into a gorilla pit. We don't need more deaths.
Keep it up, kid. The only thing you're gonna get is a mauling. Can't you see we're wild animals here?
Did you just talk to me?
Oh, joyous of days. This is one of those situations where the animals can talk to the humans. They aren't just speaking their own animal language for the convenience of the plot and story conveyance.
Wait, you can speak bear?
No, dummy. You're speaking human.
As a pony living in Equestria, can I get in on this argument? Because you're both speaking pony. We came first.
Nothing is wrong with you, Norm. You're special.
Yeah, a real one of a kind.
And it's in this scene that we discover that Norm, like everyone on the fucking planet, is a special little snowflake. Because he can speak fucking English. Just him and his grandfather. Only they can do that. Only them. Which is a bunch of bullshit because not 10 minutes ago we saw a bunch of moose speaking English!
Moosin'!
And why are only specific animals able to talk? You're telling me seals and these little chipmunk things aren't able to speak English? Why is this movie so selective as to what can and can't speak English?
Polar bears are icons of the Arctic, Norm, and an icon with a voice can be very powerful indeed.
Aren't penguins the icon of the Arctic? I mean, when it comes down to it, the ratio between penguin movies and polar bear movies is 10 to 1, so it's pretty much no competition. Penguins will kick your ass any day. Hashtag penguins are better. Now play the clip of Morgan Freeman saying penguins.
Penguins. What you and I have is a great gift. One day, you'll truly understand.
No, liar, because at the end of this movie, we still don't understand it.
Human tendencies have taken over
Oh,
our lives.
he's twerking now. Oh, good.
Started doing-
Oh, good. I'm just gonna get down on the floor now and cry.
In winter, the Arctic shake. In winter solstice.
Anyway, a bunch of Arctic chipmunks see these two having it out, and also a killer whale shows up, because, you know, that makes fucking sense. I mean, I get it, movie, I get it. Only about 5 different types of animals live up there, but that doesn't mean you can just bring fish out of the water. You know why? Because that's not how it works.
I knew he wouldn't kill the seal. Pay up.
Fine, here. You're lucky these things grow back.
You know what? This is driving me fucking crazy. Alexa, I have a question.
What's up?
Do moose live at the North Pole?
Not specifically at the North Pole, but in the northern regions, not including the North Pole. Yes, they do, you numbnuts.
See? Now that's what I thought. There are no moose up at the North Pole.
Moosin'!
So Norm meets up with another polar bear who, for the lack of utter motivation to learn his name, we're gonna call him Chad. Chad is really annoying. So annoying, in fact, that he's putting on shows for the tourists who are coming all the way up to the North Pole. Okay, seriously, will you knock it off? No one on planet Earth is sending cruise ships up to the North Pole. Most of Arctic tourism is focused around Alaska, which, last I checked, was not the North Pole. Well, this isn't creepy and annoying in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Even whales are dragged down by this song and dance routine. You know, whales, the most protected animal in the history of forever. They're so protected, but they couldn't protect them from Norm of the fucking North. So through incredibly stupid circumstances, things go wrong and Chad asks Norm to step in for whales, I guess. Oh, please, not the dancing polar bear again. This is by far the stupidest animal movie I have ever seen. Oh, but hey, at least the director likes this song. At least he's got a favorite song.
That bear's not scary at all. He doesn't belong in the Arctic. He belongs on Broadway.
And because of this comment, Norm has an existential mental breakdown and gets very sad. Welcome to the party, Norm. I had mine just 5 minutes before starting this. It's alright, when you review movies like I do, you get used to having them every day. So after like 20 minutes of the film just patting itself, I guess the movie finally decides it needs to get the plot moving. So Norm goes and talks with his friend, which is a pigeon with glasses. A pigeon with glasses, who can also talk. Like the polar bears. Actually, he's the only pigeon in this movie who can talk, which is weird and confusing. I'm not even sure it's a pigeon. They used this scene to poorly convey the fact that Norm's grandfather went south somewhere and disappeared. By the way, those are some really prehensile feathers you got there. Moments later, we discover that humanity is built an art museum?
But why?
Actually, no, get this. It's a pre-built apartment that's serving as the prototype so they can sell real estate at the North Pole. Because that's a profitable business venture if I ever heard one! And Norm goes to convey this to his father, who doesn't listen for some reason. Why do writers put these scenes in if they can't come up with any logical reason as to why the protagonist cannot be believed? These two have no reason to not believe him, and he has multiple witnesses. One of them is even wearing glasses, which is an automatic +2 intelligence. But hey, I'll tell you what, movie. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to let you dig an even deeper hole. You got your stupid plotline and your characters that don't believe the protagonist for no good reason. Let's go 3 for 3 on this one. What do you got? Ah, I see. You have Gah show up for no adequately explained reason or any motivation for her to do so, and have her give some forced motivation for Norm to go and do something about so-and-so. Well, congratulations, movie! You're a piece of shit. Also, I'm seeing Gah's footprints, but not Norm's. So, congratulations, you're not consistent either. So, instead of getting his dad to help, Norm decides that he's gonna start his own resistance movement.
With blackjack and hookers.
Because we have to stop the humans from using skating polar bears to try and film commercials that are selling condos in the North Pole, where people definitely want to live, where they'll eat penguin and it snows 18 feet a day. That's to say nothing about the temperature up there and the absolute lack of roads, gas stations, department stores, or any other basic human necessities.
Where do you expect to put them all?
Seriously, have you thought this through at all? Our capacity to absorb an influx of immigrants? We have zero infrastructure.
And then there's this director guy who has the nubbiest legs in this whole movie. Don't worry, he's useless. I just wanted to point out that there's zero consistency with the human physique in this movie. And then the lady shows up on the helicopter, but the lady looks like a 5-year-old girl. She's supposed to be in like her mid-30s. Why does she look like a 12-year-old? So Norm decides that he's going to smash all of their lights with these Minion knockoffs. Don't act like that's not what they are.
Trust me, they're indestructible.
And then there's like 2 minutes of padding where they're trying to convince Norm that they are in fact indestructible. Because they gotta fit that crap in wherever they can. You know that they're making 2 more movies after this, right? And then the lady's on a video call with her daughter, Olympia. Yeah, that's right. She named her daughter Olympia. And yeah, that's right. She has a daughter, which is why I said she's at least 30. Yet she looks like a 12-year-old. So now there's 2 people in the human universe that look like 12-year-olds to me. The other one's Ariana Grande. So anyway, Norm goes around and breaks all their lights and stuff.
And I'll go into people's houses at night and wreck up the place.
And then he breaks the, apparently, 1 camera that they had, and the director quits. It sank into the water. Because, you know, the North Pole is a sheet of ice. But I guess you wouldn't know that. It's only in 10 million articles online. Which becomes blatantly apparent as the ice starts to break. It's almost as if the North Pole is the most unstable foundation to build houses on. Oh, but hey, at least you can use this death-defying opportunity to record you being chased by a polar bear in a makeshift commercial that you're only filming in 30 frames per second in 720p. But oh no, hey, yeah, come to the Arctic, where it's falling apart and you're chased by polar bears near constantly. This is going to impress no one. Absolutely no one.
Wait a tick. I love it. I love it. I love it! This bear is a star. Safari in the snow. Genius of me.
Okay. Well, apparently it was enough to impress the Monarch from Venture Brothers. And unfortunately, the Monarch from Venture Brothers will be serving as the antagonist of this movie. Seriously, everything about this guy is annoying. The way he shifts around the room, his character design, the way he never shuts up, the way half the things he does doesn't make any lick of sense whatsoever. Or, you know, the obvious, how he's trying to sell condos at the North Pole. And when we have her on screen, she's not wearing nearly enough layers for the North Pole. If they're trying to exploit some kind of sex appeal off of her, it's not working because everything is counteracted by the fact that she looks like a 12-year-old. So maybe now you stop having her wear those skin-tight pink jeans.
Vera, scrap the campaign. We need a real symbol of the Arctic who can talk to these people and convince these morons to buy my homes. Find an actor who looks just like that bear.
Yes, convince morons to abandon their lives and go live up at the North Pole that has zero infrastructure, no farmland, so they're gonna be eating moose 24/7, and is highly prone to melting.
Moosin'!
Also, you realize that you're asking for an actor that looks just like the bear, right?
I'm in a bear suit!
So Norm decides that he's gonna go to New York and stop this from happening as a boat shows up to apparently lift the condo that was already in the Arctic back to New York for some reason. So Norm goes to New York and we don't see this stupid bird again for the rest of the movie. And look, the Minion knockoffs go with him. Oh, isn't it great? The Minion knockoffs are going to New York with our protagonist. Everyone loves the Minion knockoffs because everyone loves the Minions. Therefore, this can sell. Stop! And then they put the house on a truck because trucks can be that wide. That's a legal thing that they're allowed to do. They're allowed to legally be that wide and take up that many lanes on a road. That's definitely something that they're allowed to do. And then there's some scene in front of the school with crooked windows, which is apparently the school that the lady wants her daughter to go to because at regular school, she's too smart. You know, there's scholarships and stuff, right? There are other ways to get your kid into a good school. If you can afford to have a video conference call with your daughter from the North Pole, you can afford to send your kid to a decent school. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I forgot. The script for this movie was apparently written by a 5-year-old. And then they take the North Pole apartment to a warehouse, and then the two guys, they show up in the house, and the bear is there, but he's taking a shower because the apartment has running water. And then the bear goes and runs away from the bad men, and then he sees a man in a bear suit. And he thinks the man in the bear suit is one of his friends. And the bad men see the guy in the bear suit and they try to beat him up. But the guy in the bear suit knows kung fu and he beats them up. And then the two guys, they get really scared of the chipmunk people and they run away. And then the two bear people become best friends and start a crime-fighting duo in the city of New York. I'm gonna leave it off right there, mainly because that's where the entry into the elementary school story contest ends. And little Billy didn't even win.
Condos in the Arctic is a ludicrous idea.
I see that we've cut back to the most sensical person in the entire movie.
Until we can see public support, we will not approve this.
Polar Council, please.
Wait, Polar Council? There's a Polar Council in this movie? Is that a thing? Apparently that is a thing.
People aren't interested in living in the Arctic. Know how I know? Because that graph shows you're currently at a 3% approval rating. Until that number gets above 85%, not approved.
First of all, I'm surprised he's even at 3% here. Second, way to set up your generic plot line. You know what? I think I like this Polar Council. They're the most sensical people in this movie. I mean, sure, they're going off of the stereotype, but according to the chart trope. But at least they're shoving it at the right people. Why do they have to paint them all sinister looking? They're not even the bad guys in this movie. They're more of a neutral party. Anyway, sadly, to everyone's dismay, Norm shows up for the polar bear audition, which apparently a lot of actors want in on this particular gig. I'm starting to wonder here, wouldn't it just be easier to CG the fucking bear? That's what Coca-Cola does. And those guys have been around since like 1993. Everyone loves those bears. But then there's a scene where the monarch from Venture Brothers is talking for a really long time about how he's fed up with everything and how he doesn't get his way. And unfortunately for him, no one in the fucking universe has the attention span to care. Myself included, I'm sitting here playing Fallout Shelter. You know, on the Samsung S5 that I still have.
Mr. Green, I have the investors on Skype for you.
Discord is better.
Oh, great. The Arctic condo investors. And no approval.
Discord is better.
Thank you all for coming. Okay, we're looking for real. Let me have it.
Keep in mind, these are Hollywood actors. Norm yells really loud and gets picked in the audition.
You, come with me.
Only if I can bring my lemmings. We're with the same agency.
Cute. And very marketable.
Probably because you're trying to rip off the minions with these stupid things. So at first, the Monarch is scared shitless of Norm, as anyone would be scared shitless of a fucking polar bear. But then he does his stupid dance and everything's fine again.
This is great! Add 3 more dancers and we got a boy band.
Well, at least the director has a favorite song. Again, at least the director likes this song. But now the Monarch from Venture Brothers starts suspecting Norm of being a real polar bear. Because, you know, people don't think he's a real polar bear at this point. So he goes into his secret James Bond villain lair that he has hidden in his office that goes to a... Just goes to a hallway full of cameras. This is just really dumb.
Something felt a little too real with that bear. The only thing that looks like a bear, sounds like a bear, and smells as bad as a bear is a bear.
What? The guy who just so happens to be building condos in the Arctic Circle just so happened to also be the guy that kidnapped Norm's grandfather? That's fucking stupid and it makes no goddamn sense. If you need a bear to be your mascot so goddamn bad, why don't you use the one you already have, you dumbass? Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Hunter, there's no way he'd do that willingly. Norm just waltzed right into this goddamn office, so clearly he also came here with no plan. I hate this stupid antagonist. And he walks like he's in goddamn Gary's Mod. And then the bear and the lady go for sushi, because there's a sushi restaurant on the roof of this building. Yeah, that's a thing that it has. By the way, that's some real great Asian stereotypes you got manning the counter. Yeah, good.
He's an actor. Never takes off his costume.
Okay, yeah, let's just assume that, because, you know, we've known him for a whole 5 goddamn minutes. I mean, clearly that's long enough to start jumping to some conclusions about someone. And then there's some scene where the annoying receptionist is getting a massage from the Arctic chipmunks. And then it immediately cuts back to the sushi restaurant.
After having been up in the Arctic myself and seeing how beautiful it is, I wonder if it's even good to have houses up there.
Well, no fuck this. This whole goddamn movie is about the Monarch wanting to build homes at the North Pole while everyone else is like, is that a good idea? You know what, this scene just drags itself out for a very long time just to pad the film, so we're gonna move on. The Monarch from Venture Brothers shows up with a tranquilizer gun.
Mr. Green, what are you doing?
No, that was a good line read. No, continue.
You smell like a wild animal, Norm.
Mr. Green, just because I haven't bathed, you're gonna shoot me?
Well, that's a load of shit. We saw him come out of the shower literally a couple of scenes ago. Unless, of course, there is no running water in that house. I mean, there's no pipes or anything hooked up to it. And then through a really badly coordinated action scene, Norm tackles the Monarch from Venture Brothers, throws the gun to one of the sous chefs, and then he gets hit with a tranquilizer dart. And then Norm is a hero or some shit because he stopped the guy with a tranquilizer gun. Oh, but hey, apparently the CEO of a company going in to attack a polar bear with a tranquilizer gun gets their approval rating up. Because nothing gets a company's approval rating up like the CEO of said company going in to attack one of their employees. Hashtag Harvey Weinstein did everything wrong. So for some reason, because of this, the monarch from Venture Brothers is willing to let bygones be bygones and forget the fact that he's a fucking polar bear. Yeah, no, that's water under the bridge at this point. Let's just forget all of that happened and get on with the original plot. Did they just abandon a script halfway through production or something? Oh no, we have more important things to worry about, like Norm smelling his grandfather, eh? No, I don't know why I'm speaking Canadian. This movie's driving me insane! So as if this stupid office building doesn't have enough already, it also has an apartment. Which I guess isn't tremendously unheard of. I mean, my Grand Theft Auto office has one. Who was the interior designer for this? Tim Burton? The aesthetic in this room is worse than it was in Beetlejuice, and everything in that movie was gunmetal gray. So Norm, who I'm actually supposed to be calling Rob Schneider, but he actually ended up being the only person who I'm calling by his actual character name in this movie, wants to go find out whether or not his grandfather was actually in the monarch's office. So he meets up with the guy in the bear suit from earlier so he can pretend to be Norm in the apartment room. Even though Norm had to leave the apartment in order to go find the guy. Therefore, this makes no fucking sense whatsoever! And then for some reason, I guess he has to climb up the building. Oh, but the good news is everyone thinks that it's Norm and no one saw him leave the apartment. This plot is filled with more holes than the wreckage of the fucking Titanic. So Norm makes it to the apartment, and I guess now the Arctic chipmunks can join him. And he uses them to climb all the way up the rest of the building. And I'm starting to wonder if this is animal cruelty or not. Well, then again, it's animals abusing animals, so therefore... Do the humans intervene in this case, or what? You know what? It's a stupid movie. Let's keep going. The monarch from Venture Brothers comes into his office and... Oh my god. What is that fucking animation? I'm tired of them treating him like he's a Gmod rag doll that they can just do whatever the hell they want with. This is supposed to be your antagonist. Maybe you don't paint him off in this weird, silly light. I mean, we're supposed to hate this guy. Instead, he's sending me mixed signals with his constant shifting around the room, mood swings, and his inability to hold still for 2 fucking seconds. I'm sorry, if you can't even get your antagonist right, I don't know how you're gonna make 2 more movies after this one. Or, riddle me this. Why does he have to put a flash drive into his computer to call the head of the Arctic Council? Who is apparently corrupt and is actually on Green's side, they just need public approval. Which means I can't even like that now. But no, I can't get past this because why do you need a flash drive? Do you just keep Skype on a flash drive? Is that a thing you're doing? Because it doesn't make any other sense otherwise. It's just like, why a flash drive? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Movie, if you're trying to fool kids into making them think that this is how technology works, kids nowadays probably know more about how technology works than their parents do. But then Norm gets spotted because there's literally nowhere to hide on the balcony. But it's okay because this 2-ton polar bear is a master of stealth, apparently. And the fucking Arctic squirrels are able to sneak into the monarch's office without the monarch actually seeing them. And then for stupid reasons, they're able to stupidly quickly find the stupid hidden switch for the stupid elevator that goes down into the stupid lair. Oh, but Norm doesn't go down himself. No, he sends the minion knockoffs down there to do that, who are somehow able to sneak in there, despite the fact that there are cameras on the other wall as well. And then there's some scene where he pretends to be a rug, and it's dumb. We're about an hour into this movie now, and we haven't accomplished much plot-wise. They don't even break him out! They just confirm that he's down there! They decide it's better to focus on the real estate Mongol who's trying to build apartments in the most inhospitable place on Earth. No, I'm not over that. I probably never will be. The next day, they're making an appearance on what I would have to assume is a mock version of the old Oprah show. And look, Olympia showed up, who is honestly the most tolerable character in this movie. I mean, now that the Arctic Council is out, honestly, we don't have a lot of tolerable characters left. Honestly, it's really come down to people who have the least amount of screen time. And then there's a shitload of exposition where Olympia doesn't want her mom to be good at her job because she's not spending enough time with her. Oh no! Not like we haven't seen this a million times in a million other movies.
So let's see. You're approximately 500 kilograms, exact skull and nose proportions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Please, I know exactly what you're doing, Norm. You're saving the Arctic. You're home. So I'm thinking, maybe we can work together.
Oh, now I get it. She's the smartest person in this movie. By the way, the whole working together thing, that doesn't really go anywhere. She just pops in to give Norm advice every now and again. But since there's only 30 minutes left in this movie, I don't think that's going anywhere.
What do you say we take this party to a bigger stage?
Okay. Now we're playing Walk the Moon's #1 hit, Shut Up and Dance. Because, I don't know, I guess they thought that song was hip and with it. And so they really seem to believe that because everyone in the city of New York just stops everything they're doing and starts dancing in the streets.
Not yet.
Oh, right. Their plan is to get the approval rating all the way up and then sabotage the Monarch's plan. Keep in mind, this was plan A and the smart kid came up with it. This is a fucking stupid plan. Oh, but hey, this excruciatingly long dance routine is enough to get the approval rating up for the Monarch from Venture Brothers. That or this is the work of a montage.
We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
Look at Norm! He's famous!
Norm's fame has helped our cause, but it isn't enough, Green. I can't get this through until Norm publicly says Norm of the North supports green homes in the Arctic.
Well, that sounds like yet another generic setup. Thank you. Why does the Polar Council just show up to give us generic setups for the rest of the movie? So the Monarch from Venture Brothers hatches an evil scheme to get Norm to say that he supports homes in the Arctic, even though he has zero reasons to not trust him at this point. So what the hell? You can't just turn around and do that, movie. That's not how movies work.
How long can it take to get into a costume?
He still thinks it's a guy in a suit! He has zero reason to not trust him at this point! Oh no. Oh no, 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 no! He looks like the polar bear version of Vanilla Ice! Why would you ever go with this? Why do I get the feeling that the other half of the human race that doesn't want houses built at the North Pole has formed their own sort of cult that wants aliens to come down and destroy everything?
Get up and show a little attitude. The beat's banging, feel the bass.
So they keep using this song again and again and again. Again, the director, at least he has a favorite song.
So someone somewhere thought it was a good idea to build in the Arctic. That someone is our friend, Mr. Green. I just wanted to let you all know the truth about what this would mean for my home.
Okay, what's coming up next is the most poorly executed plot twist in the history of poorly executed plot twists. And M. Night Shyamalan has had a lot of them.
Norm of the North supports green homes in the Arctic.
There are political advertisements that put up a more convincing audio edit than that. I would know. There have been a lot of them lately. And of course, Norm doesn't like this at all.
4 homes, pre-sold, and already built.
Oh, Celestia, you know what this means, right? There's at least 4 humans on the fucking planet that think it's a good idea to live at the North Pole.
Mr. Green, you can't sell the homes yet. We don't have approval from the council. It's illegal.
I'm with the viewer. I'm scared of police.
Well, wait a fucking minute. Now he doesn't care about getting approval? Then what did we spend the last 45 fucking minutes of the movie trying to do? If I had known that he was just gonna turn around and just not give a damn, I would... Oh my fucking Celestia. It was padding. All of it. All of it was fucking padding so you could sell your fucking movie. The Arctic Council was on his side the whole time. He doesn't care. He never cared. Because an hour and a half is too much time. It's too much time. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if Hollywood tried to pass legislation to change the required time for it to be a feature-length film to something even shorter, like 30 minutes. Because you know what? When you drill down the movie to its basic stuff, that's about what you're left with. And you know what? If you tried it, it'd be at least 60% more enjoyable. And now Norm is sad, so I have to play some sad music. So I'm gonna play Mad World, because that makes everything fucking sad.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces.
Norm, why are you so down? You were great. The campaign was a success. Everyone loves you.
She's still goddamn oblivious to the fact that he's a polar bear? You guys are focusing on brands so much, I think you'd seen enough Coca-Cola commercials to recognize a polar bear. So she invites the bear over for dinner. For some reason, I guess to cheer him up or something. He's too big to fit through the apartment, and it's funny. And by funny, I mean, I want to kill myself. Which must mean that this was funny to somebody. Which makes me want to kill myself even more.
And the research is irrefutable. It will destroy the Arctic, and possibly the rest of the Earth as we know it.
Olympia, green homes will bring awareness to the Arctic.
There's an issue I've been glancing over in this movie, and I thought I could look past it, but I can't. The movie excessively uses the word Arctic. In fact, it's the only word they use to address the North Pole. They don't even use the North Pole or the polar regions or the Arctic Circle. No, nothing like that. It's just the Arctic over and over and over again. Is there some trademark that someone has out on the words North Pole? Am I gonna get in trouble if I keep...
The Polar Council is a yes.
Oh, okay.
Make the announcement tomorrow. Time to go public.
We're in. We got approval. Well, don't all scream at once.
This is about the mood that everyone had when they repealed net neutrality. Only this one's stupid.
It's not over yet, Norm. You can still do something. Shake it up. Hit Mr. Green where it hurts. His wallet.
Where do you think the investors are right now?
So Norm steals the flash drive that the Monarch was using to access Skype and chases down a limo that has all the investors in it. But why? Oh, because the flash drive just so also happens to be a recording device that recorded all of their conversations. What? What is that?
What is that joke? What is that? What is that? What is Hitler? What is Stalin? What is Mao? What is all this stuff? What is Venezuela?
So now all the investors want out, but Mr. Monarch says that once the homes are in the Arctic Circle, he can't back out of the deal, which doesn't make any sense. So Norm has to stop all the houses from getting to the North Pole, but wait.
I bet Grandpa is in that last one.
Wait, why would he? Why would he be there? Why would he be in the last truck? Why would they even need to move him? The only reason they would move him is if this was a trap. Wait, oh my god, no. He was actually in there, and Norm is here to rescue him. He was actually in there. Okay, but yeah, this is a trap. It has to be a trap. Wait, no, it's not a trap. They escape. Both of them. Why would they move it? Why is it not? Hey! Hey! What the fuck? Movie movie, you can't just do crap like this for the plot's convenience. There's no reason for him to be moving his grandfather. There's no reason for Norm to know that he was in the truck. His grandfather doesn't have a name, by the way. They just call him Grandpa. Oh, and the Monarch from Venture Brothers is now starting to suspect Norm. Only now is he doing that.
What do you mean the bear broke out of the cage? It's impossible. He's like 80.
Alexa, how long do polar bears live for?
Polar bear's average lifespan is 15 years.
Oh my god. This movie's not bad enough. They decided to go off of a human analog for the lifespan of a bear. And they've been doing this throughout the whole damn movie because back at the beginning, Norm said he started dancing when he turned 12 or some shit. And it is only now that the Monarch from Venture Brothers realizes that Norm is an actual polar bear. Only now as there are 12 minutes left in the film. I will give you credit. There's a lot going on. But if you could cram all of the plot into the last 30 minutes of film, you could stretch it out. So Norm and his 80-year-old uncle are chasing after the homes that they're gonna be putting on a boat later tonight. Unfortunately for them, the Monarch just so happens to have a Comanche helicopter filled with 2 guys, one of which has a tranquilizer gun. And then the 2 of them are put to sleep, making them finally shut up. Which is honestly the best part of the movie, because I was really hoping they'd get hit by a car or something. But I shit you not 2 seconds later, they wake up, the boat is still outside, they're tied up in the helicopter, it's like it's only been about 50 seconds! Well, they couldn't afford good tranquilizer darts, they had to blow the money on the helicopter, it's a very expensive helicopter. I mean, what can we say? Cargo bombs are expensive! So gee, Norm and his uncle are really in a bind. How will they get out of this one? Well, the Arctic squirrels show up, and Norm just sort of nudges his grandfather awake. For the plot's convenience, instead of taking them somewhere, they just fly around the barge for about an hour.
Just shoot those bears. Green said to put them out of their misery and dump them in the ocean.
Wait. You guys think we're bears? You hear that, Grandpa?
Oh, talking polar bears in Manhattan? Come on, guys.
Are you really pulling this card late in the game?
Are you sure they're bears? They sound like humans to me. I didn't sign up to shoot real people.
First of all, we're not up nearly high enough for cabin depressurization. Second, these are the dumbest henchmen ever. Third, we're still near the barge. Is this honestly the best escape you could have come up with? Are you serious? Don't worry about the ropes. He gets those off like really easy, like tissue paper. They just come right off. And yay, they got on the barge. I guess. You know what? I don't think we've padded this movie enough. Let's add a few more pointless scenes.
You might think you're not a hunter, but you are. Your way of hunting is just different than everyone else. You're going to make a great king one day. I know it.
Ah, yes, the poorly executed subplot of Norm becoming king of the North Pole. I just didn't talk about that because it seemed pointless and didn't contribute anything to the plot whatsoever. And I guess the movie wanted to tie up loose ends, so they changed Olympia's hairstyle, and then, well, I guess the mother wants to quit her job now. So she has a flashback and then decides that she needs to quit her. Wait, what?
Mr. Green, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you destroy somebody's home in order to build houses no one needs. I quit.
You're trying way too hard to wrap up loose ends with this movie. You already planned 2 movies after this, so why are you trying to wrap up loose ends? You're not leaving any plot for the next movie! No, it's okay. Just wrap everything up in the last 10 minutes. Everything will be fine. Speaking of wrapping everything up in the last 10 minutes, there's this huge storm, and Norm and his grandfather, I guess they remember what they were supposed to be doing. Because now they're trying to sink the barge. Or more specifically, they're trying to release a hook on a tugboat. Because that's seaworthy. And then they do that, and everything is fine. Or it's an 800-mile-an-hour tsunami from Titanic 2. You know, I think I'm gonna avoid movies that take place at sea from now on.
See you on the other side, whichever one we get to. But remember, whatever happens, a king always fights for his home.
Sorry, what? I mean, look, even Norm's confused as to why he said that. That line was so out of context and made no sense in this situation whatsoever. Was that line even in the movie? Movie, you keep doing this crap and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. So all the houses fall apart and Norm gets trapped under a piece of debris or something, even though he could easily get that off of him and swim back up. And Norm has a flashback of all the horrible experiences we've had in this movie. It's more than enough to trigger your Vietnam flashbacks.
A king always fights for his home.
Wait, that's the line that motivates him? Really? That's the line you're gonna go with? The line that was said like 30 seconds ago and made no sense then and still doesn't make a lick of sense. And unfortunately, the person that said that line that didn't make a lick of sense is nowhere to be found. As the movie fades to black. So wow, I guess his grandfather is really dead. But hey, the Monarch from Venture Brothers' company is being... bribery charges? No, corruption. Corruption! They can't even get that right as an angry mob goes up to him and he falls in a manhole. And I guess he's stuck down there for a while now. I don't know, we don't get it. We don't really figure out what happens to him past that point. Honestly, if we ever see that guy again, it'll be too soon. And don't worry, Norm makes his way back to the North Pole. Oh, yay. And everyone's there to meet him, even Guh. And he's revered as a hero, even though nobody saw what he did throughout this whole movie. Nobody believed him when he left. They have no reason to believe him now, but they do. Everyone is all sad that his grandfather is gone, even though they had no idea he was even with his grandfather to begin with. Oh, but what the hell? He's apparently done enough to be crowned King of the Arctic, even though he doesn't have any witnesses to prove his deeds. But it's a stupid enough ceremony for his grandfather to spontaneously show up out of nowhere. He's not dead yet. No, I totally thought he was dead. And all the moose bow before him.
Moosin'!
Oh yeah, it's all one great big stupid happy ending. Even if we have to force it. Yeah, let's force this happy ending and just pull all these plot twists out of nowhere. Yeah, okay, I got a great ending for you. It's not gonna make any sense whatsoever, but here we go. The lady magically has time to spend with her daughter now, and she got a new job with the guy in the limo. Because, yeah, they knew each other, apparently.
Well, Norm gave me a great recommendation.
No. No, he fucking didn't. I'm 65.5% sure that he didn't.
You promised to take care of Vera and Olympia? I never got a chance to say goodbye.
Norm, you have my word.
Okay, not exactly a job recommendation, but okay, I guess. Fine, you pass on that one. You know what you don't get a pass on? Norm and Gus somehow ended up together and have kids. Which will hold zero weight with your audience because we know nothing about this character. No character development was ushered forth with Gus, and I never even bothered to learn her name. That's why she's called Gus. So, yeah, no, you don't get a pass on that one. You know what else you don't get a pass on? This fucking movie! So that's Norm of the frickin' North. It sucks. It sucks. Do you need more? Oh, and good lord, you can see why. This movie fails in way too many areas. It's like one of those things where someone tries to create something mystical and wonderful and tries to make a new classic character, and they fail so goddamn miserably, and it's just painful to watch. Like watching a train wreck pan out for the course of an hour and a half. I'm 100% the writers didn't know what they were doing with this movie. I think they had to put half the cast in a stranglehold to get them into this movie. Rob Schneider especially. The plot is filled with more holes than a target at a rifle range. It's irredeemably unfunny, uncreative, and a whole load of the characters are out of place. But is it really that bad? Well, yeah. But you know what? It seems like the animators were having fun with it. Don't get me wrong, it's garbage, but the animation is actually pretty okay. Believe me, it's not enough to save this movie, but the animation is actually tolerable. And Rob Schneider, for who he is, which is kind of a D-bag, but at least he's bringing some talent to the table. It's really kind of a mixed bag. On one hand, it may be slightly above the rest of the films I review, but on the other hand, there are certain points in this movie where I think Food Fight is a better movie. Overall, I wouldn't wish this movie on my worst enemy. It's a mix of terrible and really terrible, coupled with some pretty decent animation and some alright acting. Overall, it's a mess. A great big flaming mess on a DVD that I'm going to bury in the backyard once I'm done here. You know what? Overall, I don't think this had anything to do with the holidays. So I'm not sure what that was about. My name is Hunter, and this has been a Hunter Review. Happy holidays, everybody!